welcome to the Cultured Podcast.
Hey.
I'm Sasha.
And I'm Stephanie.
How are you today?
Hot.
It's too hot.
I'm just sweating.
And
everywhere.
tomorrow's going to be 35 degrees.
Yeah, I can't think about stuff like that because it gives me anxiety. So I'm still going to think about it.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's stifling. You can't breathe.
Yeah.
Like, there's no air.
This
Like, Jordan Sparks. Legit. Like, it's gone. Wait, can I just say, yeah, technically, if we start talking about the weather, then we have nothing to talk about. Because that's what people talk about. You remember? Like,
sorry guys, we got content. We got stuff to talk about. It's just the British in us. We
I
can't
always
help
get
it.
worried. I'm like, oh my God.
It's just the British in us. We can't help it.
You know, if you're ever on a date and someone starts talking about
the date is over.
It's so cold outside, isn't it?
Date done. Yeah.
We should do a podcast about dating.
We should.
We should do that.
We should do a podcast about dating.
We should do a podcast.
Black dating.
Black dating outside of your race.
Yes.
That would be interesting.
That's an idea.
Yeah.
Let us know if that's something you'd like us to talk about, guys.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Okay, shall we get into it? The pleasantries are over.
Let's talk about the whole NHS
Okay.
situation, because how we clapped for
12 weeks.
I'm gonna take myself out of because I did not clap.
No, I clapped
the first
twice.
time.
I think I clapped twice because the thing is, I didn't actually know what was going on. I thought it was just 1 week, so I'm like, well, hey, pots, pans, not me, pots, pans, but my neighbour was in the right, like, you know, having a good time. And then the next week,
just heard clapping.
What?
And you were like, okay, let's do it.
Second week, happy days.
Third week are doing too much now.
I don't know why we keep doing this because I think that's when the nurses came out and they kept on saying,
we don't want it.
We want a pay rise.
And for me, that's all I needed to hear. The people we're clapping for have said they don't want it. Why am I still clapping?
Exactly the problem with humans. They don't listen to
Follow
what people want.
And then after 12 weeks or 10 weeks, however many weeks we clapped.
I think it was 12. I think it was 12.
After 12 weeks of clapping, what happened? Their free parking was revoked. The student nurses were sent back, even though they ended their contracts early. They've been refused a pay rise. They went on remember, it's not his priority. It's not his priority to give them a pay rise, but it was their priority to cure
humans.
you when you had COVID because you were shaking hands up and down with people with corona like an idiot. So the NHS staff had a protest. I don't know if
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
see, we didn't even know this.
They had a protest because they wanted their pay rise, obviously. And I went on the comments, and it was literally, you see when they say sometimes Caucasians don't know who to be angry at. They were like, look at these people, they're so ungrateful. Why do they need a
These
pay
were the same people that you were clapping for.
You've been clapping, putting rainbows up and down your house.
Stupid window.
And now they want a pay rise. You're insulting them, saying, oh, they've been doing TikTok videos this whole time. They're not allowed to have a break.
No.
They're not allowed to have a break.
They must be on their feet all day. They must slave away.
The comments were so disgusting.
And then the thing is, as a person who has a passion for helping others, do you know how like demoralizing it is to see those comments? Like, you ungrateful buffoon. Who do you think you are?
It was the comments. I wish I had screenshotted some of them because they were so horrible. So horrible. You wouldn't think that these were the same people that have been helping in the hospitals.
I mean, doctors, nurses, that's a whole different story when it comes to black people, as we know. And we will get into that maybe
on another episode.
Else.
That subject needs its whole
100%,
whole episode.
100%. But at the end of the day, all we can do is trust these people because we don't have the knowledge or background. So they are helping us to a degree. And they've definitely been helping their white counterparts. So,
and this is why I was confused. I was like, are you... So let me get this straight. You hate black people and white people?
Well, hello. Did you see the protest? Did you forget? Did you see the far right protest? You're confused.
Who do you hate? Make up your mind. Who do you hate?
I mean, that Matt Hancock guy. I mean, I don't want this to turn into LBC, but I feel like he's a mess. Those poor nurses. Do you remember when they tried to clap for Black Lives Matter?
And that's when I had to put my foot down. I said, if I hear
one
clap,
utter
It's just, I mean, anything. They just, Sasha, I don't even know where to
No, let's just not.
Literally, as I was scrolling through these comments, I was like, I kept thinking, am I in a different reality? Because what are you angry about? What are you angry? It's not like they're asking you to pay for their pay rise. You personally, Sarah, must pay for their pay rise.
Yeah.
Why is that so hard to back? Like, I don't get why people are so against them having a pay rise. Well, actually,
technically,
taxpayers.
Yeah, they are. But Sarah is paying for their pay rise.
I think it's justified.
I agree.
I work, I pay tax. I am not against them having a pay rise. I think it's well earned. Mm-hmm. It was well earned before Corona. Yeah. It's definitely well earned now.
Is it the doctors or is it the nurses that, I think, isn't it, or I don't know.
Isn't it both?
I think it's nurses. More than nurses.
It's more nurses. I mean, I was looking at a nurse pay and it was like 24.
Ew.
I was like, 20 what? For saving lives. 24 grand. That's ridiculous.
I just feel like it's all a mess.
It is a mess.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
This is going to be a good one.
So our first topic for today is
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Do you remember on The Lion King? She was like, Simba? So I was like, Beyonce?
It's because her voice is just.
So you listen.
You when you hear Beyonce's voice, you know it's Beyonce.
It's Beyonce. Yeah. You know, she's got that deep soul. You know, hi. I don't know. Was that?
That was Beyonce. I don't know who that was. That was Beyonce.
Beyonce. I don't know. Anyway, so Beyonce came out with her visuals for Black is King this week, exclusively to Disney Plus. And she's been met with obviously outrage with regards to she's been accused of appropriating African culture. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that whole thing?
Well, initially my thoughts were, okay, so I've watched the
banging.
And let me tell you, I cannot say a bad word about the visual album in terms of its content, its music, the casting, the costumes, the scenery. Everything is just orgasmic. It's
gorgeous,
beautiful, and I think
the music,
they've done such a good job in putting it together. Yeah. The way they've put the storyline together, it's amazing.
It's perfect.
However, Beyonce,
okay, drop it.
It worries me, and let me say this first. I could be like 100% wrong. I don't know Beyonce personally, so I don't know what her intent was behind all this. Oh yeah, so I've been thinking, is she doing this because it is not a trend? I don't want to call it a trend because I think as Black people, especially in the UK and in America, we are starting to embrace our culture a bit more, our roots a bit more. Africans have always been African, but in terms of Caribbeans and African Americans accepting that their ancestry is linked to Africa, that's all new. Because there was a time when Caribbeans didn't want to be associated with Africa. In terms of education honor Africa in America, they're so disconnected. Like their knowledge on Africa is so outdated, as in they still thought until recently that children used to ride lions to school and we fight bears on a regular basis.
Those are the black people.
And these are the black people. These are not the white Americans. These are the black Americans. They're walking around barefoot. They're eating off the plastic bags. Like they live in huts. All this. We're wearing leaves as clothes. Like this is their image of Africa. They're so disconnected from Africa. Yeah. And it's only recently that African Americans have started to
want to know more,
educate themselves more, embrace themselves more. And then I sometimes feel like, is Beyonce playing on that in order to make money? If African Americans if this was 5 years ago, or let me take it back a bit, if this is 10 years ago, when they were still so disconnected, would Beyonce be so involved in African culture? Would she include African culture so much into her music, into her fashion, and like into her concerts and stuff like that? Do you think, Or is she doing it because she knows everybody's into this? Everybody's going to buy into this because this is what they like. This is suddenly what they're into.
I think with Beyonce, like what you just said, would she be doing it 10 years ago? Probably not. But there's a lot of things we would be doing 10 years ago. I don't know if we would be uprising and, you know, doing Black Lives Matter protests 10 years ago.
That's true.
It's not, you can't act on what you don't know.
Yeah.
So now all of this stuff is coming out. I think this, obviously I'm not African, so I don't know. Like, you know, this is just my opinion. But for me, I feel like I get what everyone's saying with the whole, like, you know, Beyonce's cultural appropriating and all that jazz. But I find it difficult to understand, like, yeah, she is, or if she is, she's opened people's eyes to a whole new wave. Like you said, people in America, Black Americans, white English people, Russians, everyone listens to Beyonce, first of all, so her reach is mad. She's now kind of showed people that no, people don't live in huts. Like, there are beautiful buildings. They're African queens and African kings. Like, we live well. There's culture. Like, for me as a Caribbean, taken from that, I didn't know what that blue guy was.
Oh, she had the men painted blue. Yeah,
blue guy. You know what I mean? the man. But like reading up on it, like because of that, obviously looked up on it and I realized that is a tribal thing. I can't remember what tribe it's from, but it's tribal. You know, I think it would be different as well if Beyonce was like, she just did this and didn't incorporate any African artists. Like, when we were watching it, there was that South African artist I've never heard from. She put people on a platform. So I think it's difficult because it's like, if Beyonce wasn't doing this,
she'd get backlash.
She'd get dragged.
Yeah.
She would get dragged. And you have to remember as well, Beyonce doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do.
She's Beyonce.
As we saw from Lion King, I'm sure she can choose. Yeah. Because Lion King. So Beyonce really and truly can choose to sit down in her glass house and chill. Black Lives Matter shouldn't matter to her. Like, she's got money. It doesn't affect her. Like, you know, even choosing to do Lion King, she didn't have to do that. She could have chilled. She didn't have money. But the fact that she actually uses her platform and her, what's the word? Reach? Influence. Yeah. White people listen to Beyonce. You know they love some no, that's always at the white parties.
Well, yeah, everyone likes Beyonce, but people tend to not like it so much when she speaks out about stuff. So they love Beyonce until she starts talking about Black Lives Matter.
It's like the whole Coachella situation. She didn't have to do that, and she got backlash for it. It was great for us. So sometimes I just feel like, you know, we live in a world where we have started to like expect so much from our celebrities, where it's like, can they actually do anything right? There's always gonna be something, even if they feel like I said, what she did, it helped someone. It helped white people understand us a bit more, even if they hated us. She put it out there. She was obviously working with African people to understand, like,
so she had an African choreographer.
She didn't have an American choreographer. She didn't have maybe she had an American director, I don't know, but she worked really hard with like African people. She didn't just read it from or pick up, I don't know,
a book.
So
it's hard because,
but then that is me talking from a Caribbean point of view. Like you said, there was a time when no one wanted to, or you know, no one wanted to say that they were African. If they were African, they might felt ashamed, and then the Caribbeans were like, "Hey, Jamaica."
It's such a catch-22 because I agree with you. I think it's great that she's showing Africa in a different way to what media shows Africa, which is poor people, children starving, crying, flies on their face, which is what
that's not necessary.
No, but that's what.
Yeah, it's Oxfam all over.
That's what people still feel like certain parts of Africa still look like, and certain parts of it do. But if I walk to Peckham, I will find a child with baked beans around its mouth and flies on its face too. I ain't gonna walk far to see the same the same images.
No disrespect towards Peckham. I know Peckham is becoming gentrified, and we're not trying to disrespect Peckham.
But it's such a catch-22 because it's good, and I like I said, I love the visuals, and I don't have anything against Beyonce. I like Beyonce, and I appreciate what she's doing. But then sometimes it is, maybe it's not even Beyonce I'm angry at, because like I said, I grew up being bullied for being African.
Yeah, man. That's
people would make
crazy.
fun of my mum's accent, or like if you smell like African food or your last name, people would laugh at your last name. So then all of a sudden, and don't get me wrong, it's great.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Africa.
So it's like
everybody wants to date an African guy, or everyone's eating jollof rice, everyone's listening to Afro beats and all this, and everyone's going Afro Nation in Ghana, and it's like, yeah, but
so now African culture has become cool.
That doesn't understand the frustration of people who grew up African, but being made to feel like shit,
and that doesn't take back. So it's like now you got. I think I understand what you're saying, because it's like, okay, now everyone loves African culture. Where is the people who was how am I going to take back that feeling from people who were bullying me? Because all those people that were bullying me, like, I see you eating your pounded yam. Why? I think I understand what you're saying now.
I see you at your traditional weddings.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's funny. So it is very, very, very frustrated, and I think that's where that feeling,
frustration,
that's where it comes
from.
But I ain't got hate for Beyonce. She's doing her thing. Like I said, I've watched that documentary like 3 times, and I wish
I had Disney Plus to watch it 3 times. But
I might even watch it again. The whole thing about it not being aired in Africa as well, but it was, or it is. I don't know if it was a one-time thing, they put it on and not going to show it again. But I don't think it was the whole of Africa though. I think it was on a specific network, or 2 or 3 specific networks, and those 2 or 3 specific networks don't broadcast in the whole of Africa. So it depends on where in Africa you are.
Because I think some South Africans, they wasn't showing it in South Africa, was it? Or was it?
That would be mad if they're not showing it in South Africa.
I think there's a few, like you said, don't quote me on it. There's a few places where they didn't show it, I think I saw.
I mean, I just feel like that's another example. I feel like if you're, this whole thing is based on Africa. So no matter where I am in that continent, I should be able to see it.
Yeah, you're right.
It shouldn't be restricted. There shouldn't be any restriction to me seeing it.
Well, yeah, it's like doing a documentary about Grenada and then not showing it in Grenada. What's the point? Yeah. Next.
So now we have our Twitter segment, which is where we take news that's popping on Black Twitter and we share it with you guys. And in this case, I'm going to share it with Sasha as well, because she actually doesn't even know what I'm going to bring up. No. But I was scrolling on Twitter today and I saw that the hashtag defund the BBC was trending. I was like,
no way.
Yes, like, look at Britain being angry about them saying the N-word. Like,
defund BBC.
Never did I think the day would come where we'd all equally be outraged about the same thing.
Let's see how long it lasts.
Well, it didn't last because I clicked the hashtag, and let me tell you what these people were angry about. BBC Bite Size have put up a video on their website. You know what BBC Bite Size is, right?
Yeah. Throwback Thursday for real.
So they put up a video, basically. So it's this black guy, I don't know who he is. I wish I got his name. Basically explaining what the word white privilege means. I think it's aimed at, I would say, secondary school age. Just a simple explanation what the word white privilege means. You know how schools, you know how since the whole Black Lives Matter thing, a lot of schools have been trying to make children understand what is going on in whatever way they can. Yeah. So I think that this was just another way that Bite Size was trying to educate children on Black Lives Matter, the protests, and it was just a guy,
the history of black people,
4-minute video explaining what white privilege is. He says it's so simple that even an idiot could understand. I mean, he uses the example of we're not disabled, so sometimes we don't understand the privileges that we have as being able-bodied. But a disabled person would be able to see the privileges that we have. And it was so harmless. Outrage.
Because of that.
Outrage. BBC putting their propaganda, and this is anti-white. And I was like, well, I knew it was too good to be true.
You know how they feel about white privilege. They don't think it exists. I mean, their response 9 times out of 10, I think I've seen or experienced, is, I'm poor. Honey, we all poor.
I've had to work for everything I have.
You. We're not even going to get into this. This is ridiculous.
But they were so mad. They were, and now they're saying, I'm not paying my TV license if this is the kind of thing that they're going to be promoting. I'm like,
okay, this is the thing. White people are very good at coming together. The Jewish community are very good at coming together. Asian people are really good at coming together. Black people, we should have come together and said defund the BBC and made our own Twitter handle for it. Like, if we're not going to do it, someone else is going to choose the opportunity to do it themselves. And that's exactly what's happened.
No, you're completely right.
Defund the BBC would have been nice if it was the outrage that these 2 white women said the N-word within, 2 days? A week within each other? After the outrage of the first time?
Twice. I don't understand.
It would have been nice, but guess what? We didn't do anything about it. We should have done something about it.
We were angry. We put up our Twitter.
We put our Instagram.
But nothing of substance was done.
Let me tell you, if black people come together the way every other community comes together, oh my Jesus, we're unstoppable.
But there was a petition going around. I did sign the petition. There was a petition.
Okay, tell me about these petitions, because I signed a lot of petitions too.
It's a petition on BBC. It's actually if you're watching the BBC and you see something that you feel that's racist or that's homophobic or whatever, you can go on the site, say what you saw, what channel it was, what time it was, and you can
report it,
complain about it.
And where to go from there?
I don't know. Something to the BBC. Don't know. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how you can report something that's already happened. It's not a recurring show, so it's not like you can cancel it off the air. It was a news broadcast.
Maybe even a broadcaster as well. Bet you any money that those white reporters still have their jobs, and they will probably just maybe be on BBC News 24 instead of BBC News now.
This is why I keep saying my trust issues, and this is going to come out so wrong, but my trust issues towards Caucasians is the lowest that it has ever been. Because what I've realized is that a lot of people, it takes balls to be racist. It takes balls to openly come out and say something racist. But the people who sit behind their fake profiles and write stuff, but they ain't got their picture up and they ain't got their real name up, or they like other people's racist comments, these are the same people that you work with. These are the same people that teach your children. These are the same people you get on the bus with every day. They serve you in the supermarket, and that's what they say hi to you. They smile at you, and that's what worries me, is that these people are in your faces and then they go home and they're racist.
I mean, it's kind of like in the eyes of the law sort of thing, you know how they say black people are guilty until proven innocent. White people in some cases are racist until proven otherwise.
And that's how I live my life, unfortunately.
No, everyone should just we just got to look out for ourselves, basically. Now, the last segment, speaking of looking out for ourselves, is to promote a black business. And what have we got this week?
So this week we are promoting a book of poetry and monologues by Jackie Alecho, which is on Amazon to buy. So if you just go on Amazon and type On the Other Side, Jackie Alecho, it should come up. It's available on Amazon Prime as well. It is a book which takes you through her journey of overcoming depression, learning about confidence, understanding love, and finding happiness. It's a journey explored through poetry and monologue to help others know that they are not alone, to be kind, to speak positivity into yourself, into others, and to feel and to heal from things that have hurt you. So I have a copy. Sasha has a copy.
Yeah, it's banging. It's so
good. It's so good. I literally finished it in about 2 days.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
There's a lot of things in it that sometimes you're reading, you're like, oh, I can relate. I can relate to that.
I read this book when I went to Amsterdam on my solo holiday, and I think it was one of the best books to have with me, because you're by yourself and it's a nice it was a self-reflection time anyway, and it was the perfect book to have if you are on a journey or you're in that moment of self-reflection, which we should all have every so often anyway. But definitely go buy the book. Yep. The book is so good. The illustration is so good.
Yeah. The illustrations were done by Charlotte Williams, who is also a friend of mine as well.
Yeah. So you should definitely go follow her as well.
Yep. On Instagram, it is at
JJACQZ.
And Amazon, on the other side, Jackie Electro. It's not even going to hurt your pockets. It's literally £7.50.
It's less than £10.
It's less than £10. And if you have Amazon Prime, it's free delivery.
Support Black. That's what we keep saying. So let's just support each other and continue.